Hey there, Central Ohio, and thanks for tuning in to 10 TV Plus. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens with a special weekend edition of your 10 Weather Impact Show. We're bringing you this extra weather coverage here on 10 Plus and on our 10 TV YouTube channel because of the extreme cold that is on the way to Central Ohio as we head into this week. In fact, that cold prompting multiple days in a row under 10 TV weather impact alerts that starts tonight into tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all under alerts due to this extreme cold. You need to make sure you bundle up extra layers, all the coverings, hats, scarves, gloves, coats, face coverings as you head outside for any extended period of time, because we will see most of the day Monday and Tuesday with feels like temperatures below the 0 mark. We are already seeing that cold air work its way into Central Ohio tonight. The high temperatures on Sunday much colder than what we had on Saturday. We were in 40 degrees in Columbus yesterday, 29 the high today, and this is a little bit misleading because these high temperatures took place right after midnight. As we worked our way closer to the evening, about 6 o'clock, temperatures were down in the low 20s to teens across the region, and this will only get colder as we head through the next several hours. Watch us fall from the teens overnight tonight to the single digits by the early part of tomorrow. This clearing sky as we head into early tomorrow morning actually really going to hurt conditions out there in terms of temperatures. It's going to let all of that warmth irradiate back out to space and leave us sitting in the single digits by tomorrow morning and continuing to stay there through much of the day tomorrow, if our high temperature only expected to get up toward around 10. The morning lows will be cold not just for tomorrow but for the next several days. We're forecasting down to 2 Monday morning, 4 Tuesday morning, and -4 as we head into Wednesday morning. For that reason, all of those days under 10 TV weather impact alerts. This will continue through about the midday on Wednesday when we finally start to warm back up as temperatures go up for the end of the week. With all of the cold air on the way, no surprise, we're dealing with cold weather alerts out there. Cold weather advisories in place covering all of Central Ohio for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, as sub-zero wind chills are expected to not just be a morning feature, but a feature through most of the day, especially Monday and Tuesday. The back half of Wednesday will get a little bit warmer, and we hopefully will see those cold weather conditions alleviate some as well. Over the past 2 weeks, we've spent a lot of our time below the average temperature. We did warm up a bit here over the past couple of days, but now we are plunging right back below where we should be this time of the year. In fact, well below, some 20 to 30 degrees in spots below average as we head into this week, and we'll stay below average really all the way till the end of the month. We only get back up close to where we should be this time of the year as we head toward next weekend. So what's causing all of this cold weather? Well, polar vortex air making its way down into Central Ohio. Polar vortex being a large area of cold air up in the upper atmospheres, usually over the poles, but every now and then a piece of that breaks off and slides our way. Plunging temperatures well below average happens about every other year, and we're certainly seeing that take place now. What actually happens is we have that jet stream up to the north. When this is more of a strong circular pattern, that cold air stays confined, but when we get some weakness in the jet stream and we see it sort of meander a little bit, that's when we have that cold air plunge deep across the U.S., and that's the pattern that we're seeing in place out there right now. Watch these cold temperatures come out of Canada, come straight out of the Arctic. You can see that dark blue up toward Winnipeg down to Minneapolis. That's heading our way as we head through this week. Big blast of cold air taking over, coming straight from the Arctic. Really going to make things uncomfortable and dangerously cold again as we head through this week. Before we get to that cold, though, the rest of this evening into tonight, we will be dealing with the remaining snow that's pushed through the region, and this has caused some problems at times today. We've seen some heavier snow squalls earlier in the evening around 4 or 5 o'clock. Those were causing problems out in our western counties. The good news is once this pushes out, we'll be done with the snow, and we only have have to worry about the cold. I want to briefly talk hour by hour about what is remaining with the snow. Those bands heaviest east of Columbus as we head toward 9 o'clock, continuing to push out as we work our way into the early a.m. And then it's that clearing as we head into tomorrow that again is going to let those temperatures fall so cold. In terms of snow accumulation, heaviest hit bands out there could pick up about a ½ inch to an inch of new snowfall. Again, this really isn't going to make roads that impassable. You may come across a slick spot or two. Bigger concern will be between now and when these snow bands come to an end that you may briefly see some very reduced areas of visibility and things that you'll have to watch out for in terms of that. So the impact forecast through this evening before we get to the cold is for snow squalls, low visibility, and slick roads. All could be a problem. I want to walk through hour by hour the forecast for the next couple of days once we get past the snow as well. You can see we do have some cloud cover around throughout the day Monday, but not all day long. The sun will be shining. It's going to look pretty nice out there tomorrow at times, but that sun just not going to be able to overcome the cold air that's coming through. And then as we head into Monday night and Tuesday, we see again some clear skies early, letting those temperatures fall. Won't be quite as cold Tuesday morning in terms of the air temperature because we pick up a little bit of cloud cover heading into the early part of the day. We could see a few scattered light areas of snow throughout the day Tuesday, but this isn't really expected to accumulate to anything meaningful. And then the bad news for temperatures, once we get on the other side of that little burst of snow, even colder air heads our way Tuesday night. You can see we clear those skies out early Tuesday, continuing into Wednesday morning. This is going to let temperatures broadly across central Ohio plunge below zero. We're expecting a low come Wednesday morning below the zero mark, even here in the city, not to mention those areas outside of Columbus. It's going to be very cold, dangerously cold out there. That's why your 10 weather impact forecast has 3, again, of those 10 TV weather impact alert days in place. We'll walk through the wind chills each day. Again, Monday morning, we're starting off temperatures around 2 degrees. Wind chills will be even worse. We're talking -10 to -15 out there early on the day Monday, and then we don't get better as we work our way through the afternoon. We stay sub-zero for feels like temperatures all day long, so this weather impact alert continues again all day on Monday. We see a very similar pattern as we head toward Tuesday. Marginal improvement in the temperature. We see about 4 come Tuesday morning, but the wind chills will be just as bad. We're talking wind chills down to -5 to -15 throughout most of the day. Marginally warmer in the afternoon, but really nothing you're going to notice. It's still going to be dangerously cold. Weather impact alert again continues all day on Tuesday. As we head toward Wednesday, that impact alert only for the morning hours. We do get down to -4, the coldest air that we've seen so far out there across central Ohio. But the good news is that doesn't last all day. The winds a little bit lighter out there Wednesday morning, only dropping wind chills to -5 to -10. Say only, but that's still very cold air out there early in the day. Good news is here, by about the midday, our temperatures are warming, the winds are backing off, and we're seeing improvement. We'll be back above the zero mark for feels like temperatures come Wednesday afternoon. That's when our impact alert will come to an end. We will see a continued warming pattern from there through the rest of the week. Temperatures back up toward 30 on Thursday, 31 with some snow Friday, and getting back finally above the freezing mark as we head toward next weekend. But before we get to that warm air, we have got, again, several days of this dangerous cold. We don't typically put out alerts for just regular winter cold. This is an exceptional air. We really haven't seen cold weather this bad in a couple of years. So again, you need to make sure you take that seriously and take precautions as you head out the door. And of course, as we get ready for this big chill, there are things you should know now to make sure that you are ready for this kind of cold weather, as conditions can take a toll on your health.
The illnesses can kind of vary between musculoskeletal problems because there's more likely to be ice outside on the roads and on the sidewalks, and so people are falling more often, all the way up to things like heart attacks and strokes, just because how impactful the cold can be onto someone's body.
Medical experts also say long exposure to cold weather can cause hypothermia. Again, symptoms can include shivering, slurred speech, slow breathing, confusion, clumsiness, or pale skin. Doctors say there's another serious condition that can occur when the body is exposed to these cold temperatures.
Frostbite is also something that can happen from prolonged exposure, but it can also happen just from short exposures, depending on kind of how protected those areas are to the cold. So it doesn't have to be that you're outside for a long time.
In conditions deemed as this kind of cold weather, experts encourage you to put on 2 to 3 layers of warm clothing with a hat, gloves, and boots. In this extreme cold, you're also going to want to be dressed to the brim. That means adding a face covering. I want to go ahead and look closer at those cold weather symptoms again that can take a toll on you, such as frostbite. Again, here are some things you want to look for. We mentioned them a little bit earlier, but again, red, pale skin, feeling numb. If you're having stiffening of the muscles, those could be signs of frostbite. Blistering may also be possible in extreme cases. And again, for hypothermia, some symptoms include that slow, shallow breathing, confusion, drowsiness or exhaustion, slow speech, loss of coordination, or in some of the most extreme cases, a weak or slow pulse. If you see someone who may have either condition, seek medical attention immediately. In the meantime, get that person to a warm area and remove any wet clothing from them. Warm them up with dry blankets and clothes. You can also place affected skin in warm, but importantly, not hot water. Experts say if you think someone has frostbite, do not use fireplaces or artificial heat to warm them up, and do not put pressure on the affected areas. And speaking of the cold, these weather safety concerns are causing some impacts around central Ohio. Tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and the city of Columbus has decided to cancel its annual march due to the extreme cold expected on Monday. The program held at the Lincoln Theater Monday evening will still take place as scheduled. Hats, scarves, hot chocolate, and cookies will be handed out for free. And some good news, though, for those who still want to celebrate the holiday. The MLK March in Linden is still happening. Participants are asked to arrive at the Good Shepherd Baptist Church at 11 a.m. The march begins at noon. And, of course, make sure you bring plenty of layers to stay warm as you head out. And another closing. Because of the extreme cold, we are expecting the next couple of days the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium will be closed on Monday and Tuesday this week. The zoo says even though it will be closed tomorrow, it still plans to make a donation to the Columbus Urban League in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Before we move on, remember, if it's too cold for you, your four-legged friends may be too cold as well. Animal experts say when temperatures are this low, it's best to keep a close eye on your pets and limit their time outdoors. When animals are experiencing hypothermia, experts say they start to whine, shiver, slow down, show weakness, or start to look for a warm place to burrow. The Columbus Humane Society says there are certain breeds that just cannot handle this cold weather.
This is the time of year you want to limit that outdoor time, avoid having them outside for extended periods, especially in our small breeds. Our senior animals as well, and those with short coats are going to have extra hard time this time of year. So if you're going out for walks with animals like that, maybe consider a pet safe sweater, something that is adequately fit that they can still move around and use the restroom.
Also keep in mind salt, ice, and snow can get stuck between your pet's paws. Experts encourage you to wipe their paws off after a walk to remove antifreeze or other chemicals that could be harmful. And during this cold weather, the Consumer 10 team is helping you protect your home from fire risk. Data from the National Fire Protection Association shows heating equipment is one of the leading causes of home fire deaths. From the year 2018 through 2022, fire departments responded to nearly 40,000 fires on average, and more than 450 people died each year. The Ohio State Fire Marshal says never use your stove or oven to heat your home, and remember to use a space heater properly.
For the space heaters, they're named appropriately because they need space. You know, anything around a space heater should be clear for at least 3 feet around that space heater. They shouldn't be near anything combustible at all. And the same thing applies to any other combustibles in your home if you've got them near any kind of a heating device.
Officials encourage you to have a professional come to your home and inspect the furnace and fireplace at least once a year. Also check the batteries in your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. If you have a fire extinguisher, make sure it hasn't expired. Of course, it's not just about your home's heating. Your plumbing can also pose dangers when extremely cold weather moves in. It's important to prevent frozen pipes. The American Red Cross advises people to turn your faucet on to have a constant drip, open cabinet doors, and close foundation vents. We also spoke with leaders at a local heating and cooling company. They say don't set your thermostat too high when outside temperatures get low.
You don't want to keep your thermostat set too high. You don't want to overburden the system if it's super cold outside and you've got your thermostat set on 90. It's really going to overwork the system. So you want to maintain a reasonable temperature inside the home, 68 to 70 degrees. And again, that'll help ensure that you're not overworking the system.
If your water comes out in a trickle, there's a good chance that you may already have a frozen pipe. The Red Cross says shut off your water and find the area where your line is frozen. Experts say you can thaw the pipe with a heating pad, hair dryer, or a space heater, but warned not to use a blowtorch, kerosene, or other fueled heater like a propane heater. Also make sure you keep those faucets again open. Running water will help to melt away more of the ice. And moving on from your house, your car can also take a beating from the cold weather. Mechanics say there is more to think about than just your car battery dying in the cold. They say to make sure your fluid levels are where they should be and to warm up your car before you leave.
I don't have remote start, so I got to make sure I have gloves. I got 2 hats in there in case I get in there and it's really cold.
Start your car, let it warm up to temperature. Engines, transmissions don't like cold fluids.
You should also check your tire pressure before hitting the road and do so often throughout the winter. The mechanics recommend you get your car checked by a professional just to be safe. And when it comes to cold and some of those cars, EVs particularly, make sure you listen up. Mechanics say the bitter cold will make those cars lose range because of the impact to the battery. But there are steps you can take today to make sure your car is still ready for the road.
If you can maintain cabin temperature and you can reduce fan speed, reduce some of the electronics, you can maximize that range.
Keeping your EV in the garage to help preserve the battery's charge. And continuing with those cold weather impacts to your car, ODOT is encouraging residents to report problematic potholes that could develop in these kind of weather conditions. And if your car has already been damaged by a pothole, you could get reimbursed. You'd have to pursue the Ohio Court of Claims for that reimbursement. But between 2021 and 2023, ODOT paid out more than $274,000 for cars that were damaged by those potholes. And speaking of which, I want to take a quick moment to explain just why we see those potholes this time of the year. It's really something that we can't avoid here in the cold weather states because of the way roads are designed and just the penetrating power of water. What we see is water from rain or snow melt. It makes its way through the cracks in the road, collecting underneath in that road base that supports the road surface. As temperatures fall, that water that is trapped between the road and the base, that starts to freeze. That expansion of the water as it freezes forces that pavement upward, and of course as traffic travels along, that further stresses out that now weakened road surface. Once we get some drier weather or warmer weather and that water starts to go away, the cavity left behind from where it expanded as ice is still left in the road surface. Of course, as we add the weight of traffic on top of that weakened road surface, well, it eventually collapses into a pothole, and from there it's just going to get bigger and bigger until we actually get out a crew to fix it. Once that pothole is formed, where the road has collapsed, continuous traffic driving over that pothole will expand with time. And of course, in very cold conditions like we have this week, crews actually aren't even able to get out and fix those potholes until we get to warmer weather because the patches won't set in if the temperatures are too cold. Now, if you want to read more information on how to stay safe in this cold weather, how to prep your home, your car, or any other cold weather coverage from 10 TV, make sure you visit us online at 10tv.com or, of course, by downloading the 10 TV app. It's in the App Store and in Google Play. Now again, we are tracking very cold, dangerous weather on the way for the week ahead. We will be here covering it all week long, helping you stay safe with the latest forecast information at home. Of course, updating you on any school or event closings as we head into this week as well. But for now, that's it for this special weekend edition of the 10 Weather Impact Show here on 10 TV. Coming up later tonight at 11 o'clock, we'll be back over the air at 10 TV and on 10 TV Plus with the latest numbers on the cold weather heading our way this week. Until then, you can, of course, get more news and weather online. 10tv.com. Have a great night. Stay warm out there this week.